broadcasting from the KNBA studios and through the sponsorship of the Alaska State Council on the Arts, the Block Foundation, the Atwood Foundation, and the Municipality of Anchorage, and all of the individual donors who've supported us this year. Anchorage Community Theatre presents an exclusive radio adaptation by Philip Grecian of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Just in time for the holiday season, Anchorage Community Theatre presents a play by Heidi McElrath and Nathan Kessler Jeffrey, Happy Christmas, Jeeves. Only 4 days to Christmas, and Bertie Wooster's frightening Aunt Agatha has unexpectedly placed the perpetually annoying Cousin Claude in Bertie's care. Bertie is in the midst of helping his friend Bingo navigate the intricacies of forbidden love, when Claude complicates matters by falling in love with Bingo's girl. As Bertie's attempts to appease his aunt, chaperone his cousin, and untangle a love triangle begin to swirl out of control, only the extraordinary brain of Bertie's capable valet Jeeves can calm the storm, right the ship, and avert a Christmas disaster. Based on the Jeeves and Wooster stories of P.G. Wodehouse, Happy Christmas, Jeeves is a delightful holiday romp. ACT is looking for a private group to book the live showing of Happy Christmas, Jeeves this Thanksgiving weekend for the show's recording, which will stream from December 3rd to the 19th. Also, auditions are coming soon for the upcoming teen drama Stargirl by Y. York. All is copacetic in the fall of the new school year as junior Leo Borlock settles in to produce his moderately popular school TV show, The Hot Seat, and keep himself safely behind the camera and out of anybody's line of fire. His safe existence implodes with the arrival of the weirdly fabulous Stargirl, whose impetuous enthusiasm for all things Leo forces him to choose between his own secure conformity and the glories offered by the girl from the stars. Stargirl is scheduled to run January 21st to February 20th at ACT Studio in 2022. For more information about upcoming ACT shows and events, go to actalaska.org. See you at the play!
And now, turn out your lights and move in close to the glow of your radio dial as KNBA presents Frankenstein. In the summer of 1816, 5 writers were vacationing at the Villa Diodoro in Switzerland. Lord Byron, Claire Clairmont, John Pilladori, Byron's physician, Percy Bysshe Shelley, and his 19-year-old mistress, Mary Wollstonecraft, whom he would wed by year's end. It was an unseasonably wet summer. The group, often confined indoors, wrote ghost stories and read them aloud to pass the time. Mary's story had a dramatic effect, for Lord Byron, upon hearing it, ran from the room in fright. With the encouragement of Byron and Shelley, Mary expanded her story to novel length, publishing it 2 years later, and ever since that time, it has been a favorite all over the world. Come with us now, through the power of your imagination, travel back in history. Hear our story, the story of Frankenstein.
Fog on the horizon, Captain.
Steady as she goes.
Aye, aye.
We set sail in June of that year, over the top of the world, seeking the northwest passage from Russia to the Pacific Ocean. The ice made progress slow, but by early August, the polar region was in sight.
The fog, Captain! She's rolling
More
in!
ice floes, Captain.
Keep moving!
Aye, aye, sir!
Can't see, Captain.
Ice, Captain!
Steer for sea room while you can!
Dead in the water, Captain! Ice got us wedged in!
We sat motionless for hours, and then the fog lifted and we beheld in all directions an endless plain of ice, white and silver amongst the dead gray sky.
Captain!
Aye!
Off the port bow!
What's he doing in this?
ran to the rail and saw it. A low carriage fixed on a sledge and drawn by dogs. The driver, a man, gigantic in stature, visible but for a moment and then embraced by the fog. Nothing to do with us. I'm going below to get a little sleep. Wake me when the ice breaks.
Aye, Captain.
Huh? Just a moment. What is it?
Ice broke, sir.
Ah, good.
And another dog sled. Drifted up against the ship on a chunk of ice, sir.
Sure it's not the same one?
Different one. Dogs are all dead.
Any men?
One, unconscious. We're bringing him down.
In here. Put him on that bunk. Brandy. Bring brandy.
Yes, sir.
And blankets.
This is a ship
The good ship Cocytus.
bound
North
to the pole.
and beyond.
Good. Good.
I'm Robert Walton, captain of the ship.
Frankenstein. Victor Frankenstein.
German?
Swiss.
Explorer?
I seek one who fled from me.
Blanket, sir, and brandy.
On the table.
Anything else, sir?
Thank you, no.
Very good, sir.
The one you seek. He travels in the same fashion.
By sled, yes.
Then I fancy we have seen him.
When? Where?
Here. Drink. Drink.
Thank you. Now, tell me, quickly.
Well, yesterday we saw a sledge with a man in it. A giant of a man.
Yes, traveling north.
Aye?
Good. Good. I have doubtless excited your curiosity.
A man's life is his own.
Were it that simple,
You have a family then?
once, no longer.
Then you are responsible to no one but yourself.
You think so, eh? I will tell you my tale then, and pray you find a moral in it.
Not if it pains you.
I am beyond pain.
Oh. But
Listen. In my boyhood, I had an eager desire to learn. I rejected empty nursery rhymes for the ancient writings of the alchemists and was filled with a fervent longing to penetrate the secrets of nature. When the time came, I enrolled at the university in Ingolstadt and was fortunate in attracting the attention of Professor Waldman, who chaired the Department of Surgery and ultimately became my mentor. I graduated at the top of my class, my head filled with ideas, my heart filled with little. In the evening, after our graduation ceremonies, I invited Professor Waldman and my dear friend Henry Clerval to dinner at my chateau.
An excellent meal, Victor. Never thought of you as a chef. A surgeon, yes. A chemist, absolutely. But a chef?
There is, Henry, a fine line between the brilliant chemist and the brilliant chef.
And you've crossed the line.
And I've crossed the line. Professor Waldman, you enjoyed the meal?
A fine dinner, Victor, but the chateau, you are alone here.
Oh, not for long. Victor and Elizabeth will be married soon.
You will live here?
No, Geneva.
Then,
I require a room here for my work.
and no servants?
They would disturb me.
Just what is your work, Victor?
Speculative, mostly. The nature of disease, the brain, the body.
To eliminate all disease, cure the lame and the halt, and create a perfect world.
Yes, exactly.
Such are the goals of all of my students as they pass from university.
And if we were to move beyond those goals,
Beyond?
we correct God's mistakes with science every day. So then, why stop there? Could we not improve upon the original plan? Achieve perfection, flawless creatures, a new Adam, a perfect Eve? What then, Professor?
Why then, my boy, we would be gods,
Gods.
and bear the responsibilities of gods.
Yes, I suppose that's so. Gods.
This would be an interesting discussion for a rainy afternoon, Victor. Of course, if such a thing were possible, it could only end in tragedy.
Of course.
And your plans, Henry?
Oh, find modest rooms in town, fix my shingle over the door, and establish a practice.
I wish you much success.
Would anyone care for a sherry?
No, thank you, no. It grows late and I must be going.
It was good of you to come this evening.
Well, your company is always a pleasure, Victor.
I'd best go as well.
Stay a bit, will you, Henry? There's something I wish to discuss with you.
Well, certainly. I'll have some of that sherry after all, then.
Professor, I'll see you to the door.
That won't be necessary. I can find my way. Good night, Victor.
Professor?
Professor? Now, what is it you want to talk about?
You spoke of rooms in town.
Yes.
Move in here.
But earlier you said...
I need your help, Henry.
My help?
Yes.
In your work, you mean?
I can't do it myself, Henry. I need an extra pair of hands. Another surgeon. Oh, he needn't be brilliant. Adequate would do.
Oh, I beg your pardon?
Henry, what I said to Professor Waldman.
Oh, yes, of course. Creating the perfect man.
Think of it, Henry. A new race. Not subject to disease, infirmity, death. Beautiful in form. Powerful in body. I could do it, Henry.
What? Create a man?
Life, Henry. Create life. I could do it. We could do it.
You're serious?
I've already begun.
Begun?
To build a man.
What?
Slowly, you understand. To avoid suspicion.
No. Wait. You're saying you've been building a...
It's taken me nearly 2 years.
2 years? But you can't...
There's been no time to start at the cellular level, so I've been forced to employ some pre-existing components.
What?
Don't look so shocked, Henry. We spent the last several years at the university dissecting cadavers and tossing about bones. You'd be surprised how much can simply disappear with no one the wiser. But there are still things I need. It will be necessary to spend time watching at churchyards.
Watching at... grave robbing?
Henry, it would all just rot anyway. Food for the worms. Can it be a crime to steal from worms?
But there are families who...
Who had their chance at ceremony. The period of mourning happens whether there's a body or not, and sooner or later there's nothing but dust in the coffin anyway.
But Victor...
And who's to know, Henry? Who's to know? They'll continue to weep over an empty grave. Bring flowers to a vacant piece of ground. The palliative effect is the same.
A point, certainly, but...
And the dead? The dead have another chance.
Another chance?
At life, Henry. Henry, we could create the perfect race. Free of disease, impervious to age. What a boon to humanity.
Well, put that way, it seems... heroic.
Heroic. Yes, heroic. So you're with me. You're with me?
Victor, I've always supported you in your...
Good. Excellent.
But...
Now, quickly, pull on your coat. There's a fresh grave in the churchyard and tools in the carriage.
What?
When we've finished, we'll make the rounds at the morgue and charnel houses. We'll be heroes, Henry. We'll be benefactors. We'll be gods.
Mother.
In the parlor, Catherine.
Look, Mother. Justine's taught me to... What is it called, Justine?
Crochet.
Justine's taught me to crochet, you see.
Very nice, dear. A handkerchief?
No, it's for the back of a chair.
Of course.
And where will this one go, Catherine?
On Victor's big chair in the library, where he used to sit and frown over his books.
Oh, he always did frown poring over those old books, didn't he? A letter's come today, you see?
From Victor?
From Henry, but I'm sure it's all about Victor. Your brother never writes, but Henry keeps us posted.
For Elizabeth?
Yes, for Elizabeth.
I'm going to put this on Victor's chair. Don't let anyone move it, Mother. I want Victor to see it when he comes home.
She's growing up, Justine. You've done well with her.
I'm only her governess.
You've had as much to do with raising her as I have, perhaps more. A child's future is a parent's duty. I wonder if I've given enough.
You've given everything. To Catherine as well as to me.
Oh, nonsense.
I was an orphan. You took me in, provided me with a home, an education.
I needed a governess for my child.
You could have found an older and better one. I was barely 13.
You were always older than your years.
She gets her schooling from tutors, her meals from the housekeeper and the cook. My duties have been little more than big sister.
An excellent example. She needed a governess.
And I needed a family. You shared yours. You've never treated me as a servant.
Justine, come see.
Coming, Catherine! You had no duty toward me, Baroness, and yet you gave me a future. For that and so much more, I will always be grateful.
Justine!
Good morning, Baroness.
Good morning, Justine.
Here I come, Catherine.
All my little ones. All my little ones. Elizabeth! Elizabeth! Are you upstairs?
What is it, Baroness?
A letter for you.
A letter? From Victor?
From Henry, but I'm sure it's about Victor. Here you are.
Thank you. They said they'd be coming home next month. Henry just to visit, but Victor...
Yes, you have wedding plans to make. Victor's always been single-minded, but I cannot fathom how he...
Oh!
What is it?
They won't be coming home next month after all. Victor has some research, and Henry's working with him.
The wedding?
Not a word.
Oh.
Henry's simply forgotten to mention it. I'm sure he thinks of it every day, and he'll be home very soon.
Of course he will.
If not next month, well, then the month after. The wedding isn't till the fall, and we... If you'll excuse me, Baroness,
Certainly. Oh, Victor, what are you doing? What in the world are you doing?
The storm's nearly at its peak, Victor.
Come here, Henry.
There's no time if we're...
Come here, come here.
Very well. What?
Look at him.
Victor, I've been looking at him for months now.
He's beautiful.
Perhaps, but with all that bandaging...
You know he is. I selected his features to be beautiful. Noble high forehead, rich black hair, strong jaw, broad shoulders. Look, look, look!
Victor, the storm is rising!
What?
The storm!
Oh, yes. We must move quickly. The attachments?
In place.
The lightning rods.
Connected.
Open the skylight.
Victor! It's raining in through the...
Let it rain! Quickly now. Raise the table. Send him up. Up, up, up. There he goes. Up to the heavens to steal life from the gods. The lightning. Look, Henry. The lightning. Switch on the generator. Look at it, Henry. Look at it. And there, you see? The lightning. We collect lightning from the heavens. We steal fire from the gods. Like Prometheus, Henry.
The batteries are full, Victor!
Transfer in 3, 2... Now, Henry! Now! We are titans! We are creators! We are gods! Switch off the machines! Now, bring it down! Bring it down! Quickly! Quickly! Here it is. Here. Easy now. Easy. Easy. Now, quickly. Disconnect the electrodes. Quickly, man. Quickly.
I'm doing my best.
Out of the way. Out of the way. Bring me that stethoscope connection. Hurry. Hurry. No. No. Connect it to the machine first. So we can hear. Hurry, man.
Here, it's...
Give it to me. Close that skylight.
Victor, I don't...
Shut up. Quiet. Listen. Listen. Hear that?
Oh, my God.
Hear it?
I never imagined...
Quiet, damn you! Quiet! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
In a moment, after these words from our sponsors, we will return to the Anchorage Community Theatre Radio Players production of Frankenstein.
In March of 2022, ACT's second stage series presents the famed musical Ordinary Days by Adam Guan. Ordinary Days is the captivating story of what happens when frazzled and uptight graduate student Deb loses a notebook that contains all of her notes from her thesis somewhere on the streets of New York. Little does she know that Warren, the struggling artist and professional cat sitter, who finds and returns the notebook to her, will have such a profound effect on her life. And meanwhile, their actions affect Jason and Claire, a couple inching towards marriage, who ultimately can't seem to completely figure each other out because of an unspeakable tragedy from years ago. Adam Guan's witty and captivating four-person song cycle has played around the world professionally, in university settings, and at community theaters, and it is sure to leave audiences finding and appreciating the beauty in their everyday lives. Ordinary Days is scheduled to run March 18th through April 3rd at ACT's Studio Theatre. Also in May 2022, Anchorage Community Theatre will close its 68th season with the Agatha Christie murder mystery, The Hollow. An unhappy game of romantic follow the leader explodes into murder one weekend at The Hollow, home of Sir Henry and Lucy Angatel, arguably Christie's finest comic grande dame. Dr. Christo, the Harley Street Lothario, is at the center of the trouble when, assembled in one place, we find his dull but devoted wife Gerda, his mistress and prominent sculptor Henrietta, and his former lover and Hollywood film star Veronica. Also visiting are Edward and Midge, whose romantic assertions are likewise thrown into the mix. As the list of romantic associations grows, so does the list of potential suspects when Christo is shot dead. Nearly everyone has a motive, but only one of them did the deed. The Hollow runs April 22nd to May 22nd. For more information about upcoming ACT shows and events, go to actalaska.org. See you at the play!
And now, we return to the Anchorage Community Theatre Radio Players production of Frankenstein.
Yes?
I've come to... Henry!
Professor Waldman.
You've come to visit Victor as well, then?
No. No, Professor. I live here.
No shingle on the door in town, after all.
Not at present, in any case.
Well, then, I wonder if I might come in.
I'm afraid that would be impossible.
Oh, impossible?
Just now. We're very busy and...
Busy?
Yes, and we...
Doing what?
Well, I'm not...
Research?
Yes, research. I'm helping Victor, you see, and we...
What sort of research?
Well, I'm not at liberty to say.
Very well. Please tell Victor I was here.
Yes, of course, Professor.
I thought it might be diverting to meet again. Perhaps in my rooms.
Yes.
One evening, soon, for a meal, some wine and conversation.
Yes, fine. I'll talk to Victor about...
I've been thinking about the discussion topic Victor brought up the other week.
A discussion topic?
Concerning the responsibilities of gods.
Ah, yes, of course.
Hypothetical, of course.
Of course, yes.
But intriguing, nonetheless. A point to ponder, eh? Well, good evening, Henry.
Good evening, Professor.
Who was it?
Oh, Victor! You startled me. I didn't hear you come.
Who was it?
Professor Waldman.
What did you tell him?
Nothing.
You're certain?
I'm certain. Calm down, Victor. Calm down. You haven't slept in days. You're being...
Who can sleep with that?
Victor, you've got to get hold of yourself. You can't...
He's not beautiful, Henry.
No, Victor. He is not beautiful.
I meant him to be. The size of him, the physique, the hair and brow, they were meant for a god.
I know, Victor.
Instead, they form a horrible contrast with those dead eyes.
Victor?
My God, Henry, his skin scarcely covers the muscles and arteries. And the scarring. I never considered...
Victor, you must...
He is not beautiful, Henry. He is not. He was to be articulate. The brain... I took the brain mere hours from internment. You understand? Mere hours.
Victor, you're
Of
killing
course,
yourself.
You could assume a certain amount of damage for the time without
You
oxygen.
must sleep,
But
you
I
must
allowed
eat.
for that, Henry. I allowed for that. I
You can't go on
did.
like this much
There were
longer.
certain
Can't you see what you're
processes
doing
that
to
I-
yourself? Victor, you're making yourself ill.
Henry, do you remember Professor Krempy?
Of course. Doctor of Natural Philosophy, brilliant. Died last year at end of term.
It was his brain.
No, heart failure, as I recall.
The creature has his brain.
Good God.
I didn't expect brilliance. Oxygen deprivation would have taken its toll, but I hoped for something better than a feeble-minded beast.
Krempy.
Time to feed it again. I picked up something at the butcher's this afternoon.
I'll go extinguish my reading lamp and join you at the cellar door.
Very well.
My God, Victor, what are you feeding it?
Carcass of a pig. Got it at the butcher's.
A more than reasonable price, I hope. That sack fairly reeks.
He doesn't seem to mind. On the wall. That torch. Bring it along. Hold it close. Can't see a bloody thing down here.
Watch this turn in the stairs. Well, he's asleep. Perhaps we can leave the sack here and...
Instincts of an animal, too. There's no creeping up on it. Look at it, Henry. Look at it. What have I done? What have I wrought from the Creator's discarded clay?
I had a hand in this too.
I spent 2 years creating this obscenity.
He's caught the scent of the food.
Here, you misbegotten nightmare. Catch! This is my punishment for stealing fire from the gods.
What now, Victor? We can't leave him down here forever. We're responsible for him. We must...
Responsible? For this?
Yes, of course.
No, my intention was to create a new race. More gods than men. This animal that sleeps in filthy straw is God's way of mocking me. No, I shan't be responsible for it. I shall destroy it.
Destroy it? Impossible.
Do you think it cannot die, Henry?
Oh, yes, Victor, it can die, but it will not die easily. You've seen to that with what you've done to it on the cellular level. Its healing factors are amazing, and it's...
I shall destroy it.
Then you will be a murderer.
A murderer?
Exactly.
I am its maker.
And therefore carry more responsibility than right.
The life it has, I gave to it. I did it. I gave it life.
That does not give you the right to take it back. His heart beats. He breathes. He lives independent of our machines. Victor, it is a life. A living being. Perhaps it even has a soul.
A soul?
A soul.
Rubbish! I can provide an inventory of everything I put into it. I stitched in lungs. I stitched in muscles. I stitched in no soul.
And that does not mean it hasn't one. What? What is it? What's happening to him?
The food was drugged, Henry, with enough poison to kill a dozen men.
You can't poison it, Victor. You know that. Its recuperative powers are...
No, but I can kill it with this.
A pistol?
That's the plan, you see. To weaken it, to provide opportunity so that I could move in like this.
Victor, no!
Give me that torch. What say you, Henry? Do you think a bullet through the brain will kill it? About here, perhaps. Just in front of the ear.
Victor, please!
I could never poison it, you see. Even now its immune system is building defenses. At least I did that right in the creation of my Ubermensch. Another 10 minutes and it will slake off the effects of the poison. But let it slake off a bullet to the medulla. Now, hold very still. This won't hurt a bit.
Victor, look out! It's...
Let go of me! Let go! The torch!
It set the straw afire!
Let me go, you monster! monster!
Quickly! Find the stair! Victor, over here! There's the creature! Can you see? Look out! The ceiling is coming down!
There's no saving him now! It's best! Quickly! Quickly!
Victor, are you awake?
Elizabeth, I dozed off while you were reading to me.
Professor Waldman's here to see you.
Hello, Victor.
Professor, what are you doing in Geneva?
Oh, I'm often in Geneva. I have family here. And how could I not come to visit you and your lovely bride-to-be?
Will you be able to come to the wedding, Professor?
I would not miss it.
Well, I shall leave you two gentlemen alone. Victor will finish reading this evening after dinner.
Good.
A pleasure, Professor.
The pleasure is mine, Miss Lavenza. So, how are you, Victor?
Better this last week, I think. According to the doctors, I should be able to get out of bed in a couple of days. I concur.
Self-diagnosis, eh?
Of course.
I was sorry to hear of the fire. Were you able to save anything?
No. Nothing but ashes.
Your notes, your research.
Gone. All gone.
What a tragedy.
A tragedy, yes. Henry was the hero of the hour. I'd been overcome with the smoke. He carried me out. Saved my life.
I heard, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had a visitor.
Come in, Justine, come in. Professor Waldman, this is Justine Moritz.
Miss Moritz?
Professor?
Justine is my sister's governess, my mother's household lieutenant, and, just lately, my nurse.
Ah, then you're responsible for that delightful little girl I met at the door.
Yes, sir.
You must be very proud of her.
Yes, sir, I am. Herr Frankenstein, have you taken your medicine?
Not yet.
It's past time.
I'll get to it.
Now would be a good time, lest you forget.
It would appear you are as proficient a nurse as you are a governess.
She's a taskmaster. Very well, here. Pass me that water, please.
Here you are, sir.
And... there. I've taken the medicine and washed it down like a good fellow.
Thank you, sir. A pleasure, Professor Waldman.
Oh, mine as well, Justine. Victor, I'd best go as well. Good to see you looking well, and from what Elizabeth has said, you're finally setting a date for that wedding.
Yes, as soon as I've regained my strength.
Excellent. Take care.
Oh, Professor.
Henry, I understand you're something of a hero.
Hero?
You saved Victor's life.
Well.
And it occurs to me the three of us still have a topic to discuss.
We, do?
Regarding...
the responsibility of a god toward his creation.
I see.
What prompts this topic, Professor?
Oh, you don't remember? Victor, you brought it up yourself. That evening at dinner. I've been thinking of it ever since. An excellent pursuit.
Oh.
For discussion. Well, I must go. Be well, Victor. Be well.
Thank you for stopping by, Professor.
Good afternoon, Henry.
Professor? Do you think he knows?
No. No, of course not. How could he?
Sometimes it's uncanny what he seems to know.
It's a trick of his. Suggest you know more than you do and see what you can learn.
Still?
Henry, the house burned completely, did it not?
Yes, of course.
Ashes. Just ashes. No furniture, no papers, no laboratory equipment, no bones. Correct? No bones?
No, of course not. The chemicals in the lab sorted that. The fire was nearly white hot. Not a timber standing. Nothing left but a pit of ashes.
Good. My coat... my notebook was in my coat pocket, with all my notes about the creation.
Oh, you had no coat, Victor.
But I did. I tell you. If anyone found...
Oh, you must have left it there, in the cellar with that poor creature.
Yes, of course. I must have. Then it burned as surely as he did.
Still, it haunts me.
What?
What if he didn't burn, Victor? What if he survived?
He didn't.
But if he had? Suddenly free of that cellar? After all, he has Krempy's brain.
Krempy's deteriorated brain, erased of all knowledge.
True, but consider the potential. Krempy was brilliant. That mind in that massive, nearly immortal body, why, he could...
I don't wish to discuss this. The creature did not survive.
But if he had?
If he had, why, then he would be like an animal. An animal, loose in a world he could not possibly understand.
Who's there? If you've come to rob me, take what you like. Look around inside my cabin, too. The door is open. I haven't much to steal, and as I am blind, I make a poor witness to crime. No? Well, if you haven't come to rob me, perhaps you'd care to sit with me a while, eh? Oh. Our music lover, then, is that it? I don't understand what you're saying. Are you not native born? German, perhaps? Friend? No? Ami? Friedel? At? Pri eten? Oh, of course. Forgive me, my friend. It is not that you speak another language. It is that you cannot speak at all. Is that it? Well, we are a fine pair, are we not? You cannot speak, and I cannot see. Ah, but you have the capacity. Has no one ever taught you to speak? Something terrible must have happened to cause you to lose your ability to speak. Some grave accident. Yes, I lost my sight through an accident as well. Well then, we can help each other. While you are with me, you can be my eyes. And I will be your tutor. Agreed? We will help each other because we are friends. Can you say that? Friend. Can you say it? Friend? 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 Yes! Friend! Yes! Excellent! Excellent, my friend!
Here are some hilarious and heartwarming titles to look forward to in ACT's upcoming 69th season. Weeks before a presidential election, Senator Henry Douglas, a smooth-talking candidate who has based his entire campaign on the issues of morality and family values, is given an unusual opportunity. Arranging for his wife, Lois, to be away for the weekend, he realizes that with a little luck, he may be able to break every one of his campaign promises before the votes are even counted. Once his wife is safely on her way to the airport, he invites his voluptuous secretary, Veronica, to spend the night in his Washington, D.C. townhouse. To his abject disappointment, she is unavailable. He then contacts a capital escort agency and arranges for an escort for the evening. Unfortunately, his neighbor, an elderly congressman, Clyde Salt, locks himself out of his townhouse and has to spend the night. Harry solves the problem of Congressman Salt by slipping large quantities of sleeping powders into his brandy. He will be sound asleep all night. You'll enjoy these partisan hilarious hijinks in ACT's production of Michael Parker's The Sensuous Senator, slated for September of 2022. Also just in time for the 2022 holiday season, you and the whole family will adore Annie, the musical, the beloved and famed musical by Thomas Meehan, Charles Strauss, and Martin Charnin. With equal measures of pluck and positivity, little orphan Annie charms everyone's hearts despite a next-to-nothing start in 1930s New York City. She is determined to find the parents who abandoned her years ago on the doorstep of a New York City orphanage that is run by the cruel, embittered Miss Hannigan. With the help of the other girls in the orphanage, Annie escapes to the wondrous world of NYC. In adventure after fun-filled adventure, Annie foils Miss Hannigan's evil machinations and even befriends President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. She finds a new home and family in billionaire Oliver Warbucks, his personal secretary, Grace Farrell, and a lovable mutt named Sandy. Also, in 2023, look for this musical gem based on the hilarious film Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Lawrence Jameson makes his lavish living by talking rich ladies out of their money. Freddie Benson more humbly swindles women by waking their compassion with fabricated stories about his grandmother's failing health. After meeting on a train, they attempt to work together, only to find that this small French town isn't big enough for the two of them. They agree on a settlement. The first one to extract $50,000 from a young female target, heiress Christine Colgate, wins, and the other must leave town. A hilarious battle of cons ensues that will keep audiences laughing, humming, and guessing to the end. You can expect all of these and more at your community theater, Anchorage Community Theatre, in 2022 and 2023. For more information about upcoming ACT shows and events, go to actalaska.org. See you at the play.
And now, we will return to Frankenstein.
Victor!
Hello, Puss. Good afternoon, Justine.
Herr Frankenstein?
Victor, Justine's taking me on a picnic.
Really?
Oh, yes, and we're going on a hike to catch butterflies and find snails in the pond, aren't we, Justine?
Yes, we are.
Do you want to come?
I haven't the strength for long walks yet, Puss.
But it's been weeks.
Not much longer, Puss. And when the doctors say I'm well enough, that's the first thing I'll want to do. A picnic and snail hunting expedition.
Promise?
Promise.
Come, Justine. Let's decide what to take for our picnic.
I'm coming.
Have we worn you out yet, Justine, nursing me back to health and seeing to Catherine?
Oh, no, sir. And my time with Catherine, helping her to learn and grow, it helps to make up for... You know about my father?
I do.
He went mad.
Yes.
He arose early one morning, put on tea, and then strangled my mother and sisters in their beds.
Justine, you needn't...
I saw it all, and I ran. I hid. I hid where he couldn't find me. He said angels told him to do it.
Yes.
They hanged him. And I will never forget being so alone and terrified in the workhouse, whipped and treated like an animal, and your mother coming for me, and shouting at the steward who had been such a demon, and taking me by the hand.
She knew your mother.
The Baroness, you, and Catherine, you gave me a life, and I am forever in your debt.
Justine!
Coming! I can repay only a part of that debt by helping to raise Catherine, and so she is my responsibility, and my blessing, and I love her with all my heart.
Justine!
Excuse me, sir.
Of course.
Coming, little cat!
A blessing. A life. A life.
And the Lord God formed man of the dust, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. Do you see those words in the book, my friend?
Yes. You know these words, de Lacy?
I do. I have read our good book many times.
You are blind.
I was not always blind, my friend. Seems we're in for a storm.
Yes, it is turning very dark.
Well, we won't let it bother us. We'll stay inside and build a fire in the hearth. You can read and I will recite. Would you like to hear more?
Yes, yes.
Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was made. Can you find those words?
Yes.
Then read, my friend.
So he drove out the men, and he placed
Cherubim.
cherubim at the east, and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the tree of life.
Well done, my friend. You have learned very quickly and well.
God made us, de Lacy.
He did.
Then I have seen God.
I suppose each of us has seen God in his own way.
No, I have seen him. I have seen God, de Lacy.
You are mistaken, my friend.
No, I remember. I was cast out into the burning pit by God for my sins.
No.
Yes, I was driven from the garden with a flaming sword. But there is no Lady Eve. I was alone. I have no Eve. Where is my Eve, de Lacy?
That was all a long time ago, and no man has ever seen the face of God.
I have his coat. I have his coat. Where did I? I have God's coat. I took it from the garden. Here, touch it, de Lacy. Touch it. It is God's coat.
Oh, it is excellent fabric, my friend. But I'm afraid it's not. What is this?
What?
In the pocket, a book of some sort. Here.
It is writing.
Handwriting?
Yes, not printing like in the other books. Writing with a hand.
Then it is a diary. Whoever wore this coat...
God!
Whoever wore this coat kept a diary. A record of his thoughts.
Here is a drawing a drawing
What, my friend?
of me, Delacey. It is a drawing of me. And more drawings. Yes, God has made drawings as he has created me, Delacey. And there are words, God's words. It is another book of God's words, like our good book.
My friend, you do not understand.
Oh!
What is it? What have you read?
God does not love me.
God loves all his children.
I saw the dull yellow eyes of the creature open. It breathed hard and a convulsive motion agitated its limbs.
What sort of book is this?
The beauty of my dream has vanished. Only horror and disgust fill my heart as I behold this monster I have created. God does not love me, Delacey.
This is not about you. It is about a monster. Why would you imagine?
Yes, a monster.
And do you not remember that you have read from our good book, God loves all his children?
Your God loves his children. Delacey, my God does not love me.
There is only one God, my friend, and he...
I have purchased a pistol. I will destroy it as it has no soul. I will not have sinned. Have I no soul?
Of course you do, my friend. These are not the words of God. Whose book is it? There must be a name on it.
Name?
On the inside front cover. Is there a name?
There is.
What is it?
Frankenstein.
Anyone home? Be calm, my friend. Be calm. Yes?
Good day to you.
Good day.
We've been hunting in these woods. We're thirsty and wondered if we might...
God, Hans, what is that?
Oh, look out!
Be careful!
It's a monster! No, wait, let's see the size of him!
No!
He's getting away!
There he goes!
Oh, look, Justine, I found another snail. See how big?
Be careful, little cat. These rocks are slippery.
I can swim. Besides, you're right behind me. You'll catch me.
What if I don't? The Baroness won't be happy with me if you come home soaking wet.
I'll just tell her.
Watch the thorn bushes. They'll spring back and... Oh!
Oh, Justine, I'm sorry. I didn't...
No harm done, little cat.
I've scratched your cheek. I should have been more careful. Here, my handkerchief.
It will heal. We'd best climb up the bank and go home before it rains.
It's turned very dark, hasn't it? Oh my, I may go home soaking wet after all. Justine, I'm caught.
Hold still. We don't want you to tear your...
Oh.
There, now be careful. Give me your hand. And up we go.
Oh, it's really going to rain.
Let's gather up our picnic things. Quickly.
There goes the tablecloth.
Go catch it.
It's blowing into the forest.
Get it quickly.
I'm afraid of the forest.
It won't go far. The trees will stop it. Hurry, I felt some raindrops.
All right then. I don't see it.
Hurry.
All right. Can't have gone far. Funny, it's not here. I don't understand how.
I have it.
Who's there? Show yourself.
First, you must promise that you will not be frightened.
I can't promise that. I'm already frightened. Where are you?
Catherine, did you find it?
You see, I'm not alone. I have people with me. Justine and my brother. He's big and strong. Where are you? Let me see you.
First, you must promise that you will...
You keep the tablecloth. I'll just...
No!
No, let go of me. Don't. What are you?
Please, I will not harm you.
Your face! Help! Help, Justine!
No, please.
Let me go!
Please,
You better let me go. My brother Victor will put you in jail. Justine!
Victor Frankenstein.
Yes, Victor Frankenstein. Justine!
You are blood of my creator, my father, my enemy.
Catherine, little cat. Catherine, where are you?
Woman,
Who are you? Where is Catherine?
tell me, first, does the blood of the house of Frankenstein flow through your veins?
No, it does not. Where is Catherine?
Tell him I did not die in the fire. Tell him it begins now. I return sorrow with sorrow, despair with despair.
Where is Catherine?
She awaits you in the clearing.
Catherine! Little cat!
I will bring you 1,000 miseries, my creator. 1,000 miseries to the day of your death.
Henry,
Professor Waldman.
I came as soon as I heard. How is the Baroness?
As well as can be expected. She's...
Professor Waldman.
Oh, Baroness, my condolences.
Thank you. Please, come in. I was preparing to have tea. Will you have some with me?
Of course.
Will you join us, Henry?
Certainly. I'll find Brigitte and tell her we have a guest for tea.
This way, Professor.
It is a lovely home.
It has always been a home full of happiness until now. Please, have a seat.
Thank you. This is a terrible tragedy. Do they know who could have done such a thing?
They have made an arrest.
Good.
They have arrested Justine Moritz.
The young woman I met on my last visit?
Yes.
Impossible.
That is what I believe as well. Justine is like one of my own. I love her very much, and she loved Catherine. She could never have...
Tea, Baroness.
Thank you, Brigitte. Put it here.
Will there be anything else, Baroness?
No, Brigitte. Thank you.
Yes, Mum.
Why have they arrested Justine Moritz?
She was with Catherine.
But still,
She had Catherine's handkerchief in her pocket, covered with blood.
Come in, Henry. Sit here.
I don't understand. If she had a handkerchief...
There were deep scratches on Justine's face and hands.
So then that would explain the blood on the handkerchief.
Catherine had skin and blood beneath her fingernails. She'd scratched her assailant.
Motive. There must be a motive.
Justine's father went mad and killed Justine's mother and sisters. He told the police that angels had told him to do it.
Is there any proof that Justine has inherited that madness?
Not until now. The police believe...
And the police are wrong. Justine could never have... Justine loved Catherine. And Catherine,
Has anyone spoken with Justine?
Henry was the first to see her after...
And the police, of course.
Victor and Elizabeth have gone to the jail to see her.
What does Justine say?
Well, she told the police that Catherine was murdered by a giant demon, horrible to behold, with death in his eyes.
A demon?
You see, she was hysterical. She saw...
But she had told me something quite different.
She was distraught. She didn't know what she was saying.
What did she tell you, Henry?
She burst through the door and ran right into my arms. She was crying, hysterical. She said...
What?
Well...
What did she say?
She said she'd done something terrible.
Something terrible?
She said she had killed Catherine.
You got visitors.
Justine!
Elizabeth.
You poor girl. Oh, this is all so horrible.
Justine.
Herr Frankenstein. It is good of you to come.
What's this? Chains? I won't have it.
I don't mind. They are my punishment.
For what? I do not for a moment believe, Justine, that you...
Justine, they say you confessed to Henry.
I confessed my guilt. I sent her into the woods to retrieve our picnic cloth. Had I gone for it myself...
They believe that you did this thing and have confessed to it.
Confessed to... No. Never! Oh, you must believe me,
Of course we believe you. We'll tell the magistrate to release you and...
It may not be that simple, darling.
Nonsense. I will go to the magistrate myself. I will melt the stony hearts of your enemies by my tears and prayers. I shan't let this happen to you. Catherine loved you with all of her heart and
I loved her with all of mine. I have no fear of the gallows. I know I shall see Catherine again.
No, I won't let that happen. This will not go to trial. They can't.
Elizabeth.
Is there anything, dear? Anything you can tell us that might help bring the murderer to justice?
I saw him.
Clearly.
I stood as close to him as I stand to you now.
Well, then there it is. We'll give a description to the magistrate and...
Elizabeth, she told...
She saw him, Victor. We must demand that they release her.
Justine, tell Elizabeth what you saw.
No one believes me.
She saw a demon.
Yes, a giant demon, twice the size of a man, with a horrible face and eyes like death.
Demon?
You see? You don't believe me either.
I didn't say.
You believe my father's blood has driven me mad. But I saw it. A giant demon, and he spoke to me.
What did he say?
It made no sense. He asked if I was of the blood of Frankenstein, and then he said, tell him I did not die in the fire.
What?
I did not die in the fire, he said, and now I will return sorrow with sorrow, despair with despair.
You're sure of those words?
Yes. He said, it begins now.
Oh, dear God.
What is it, Victor?
And you say he was a giant?
Yes. Bigger than any man I've ever seen.
More. Tell me more.
He had dark hair, black, a high forehead, and scars, deep scars on his face and wrists, and his skin was like...
Parchment?
Yes! Yes, exactly, but how did you...
Dear God.
Victor?
My dear God, forgive me. He lives. He lives yet.
Good evening, Agatha.
Good evening, sir. The family is in the parlor.
Thank you.
Henry, good of you to come.
Of course. Baroness?
Henry.
Victor?
Oh, yes. Good evening, Henry.
Please, have a seat. Have you had any success? The stay of execution?
No. No, I'm sorry. I spent all day in the judiciary. I tried, but Justine will be executed tonight at 8 o'clock.
There must be something.
There is nothing.
We've hired the best legal help for her, but...
Victor paid a visit to the governor yesterday.
Any hope?
No. No hope at all.
I'm worried about Victor. He hasn't slept for days.
Victor,
Justine didn't do this thing, Henry. You understand that, don't you?
Yes, I do. But there's nothing we can...
Whoever has done this is a monster.
Well, there is no doubt, my friend.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you, Henry? A monster.
Well, yes.
Justine's description? A giant demon with eyes like death.
What are you saying?
A person who would do this, Henry, would have to be an animal, wouldn't he? An ugly, soulless monster, escaped from the fiery pits of hell.
Oh, Lord.
What is it, Victor? Henry?
Oh, nothing, Elizabeth. Victor, are you certain?
It could have been no one else.
We have to tell... We have to...
And who would believe? Especially now that we've tried so desperately to stay the execution. They certainly didn't believe Justine.
But we can't just...
The clock!
Oh, no. I had no idea it was so late.
What's that? Do you hear that?
What? I don't hear anything.
There, hear it?
No, maybe someone passing by outside.
No, it's... Can't you hear that?
Oh, what is it, Victor?
Doesn't anyone hear that? Am I the only
Victor?
one? Is this my
you all
punishment
right?
for stealing fire from the gods?
What
Am I
do you
to be
hear?
spared nothing? Must I bear witness to this?
Something's wrong.
Not this. I implore you. Better to chain me to the mountain and let eagles tear at my flesh, but please,
Victor!
please spare me this!
Victor, what is it? Please
Victor,
stop
my
it.
friend!
What's wrong, Victor?
It's beautiful up here, Victor.
Yes it is. You can see the whole valley.
Stop. Just a moment. You've been avoiding the topic for 2 weeks, Victor. But you know we must go to the authorities.
I told you, they'd never believe us. Besides, the damage is done. We can't bring back Catherine or Justine.
But we are responsible for...
And did you hear what she said, Henry? He spoke to her. He spoke. He's not just a mindless animal. He is a man. I am a god after all.
Yes. And at what cost?
You're right, of course. The cost has been too high. There is blood on my hands, Henry. Justine's blood and the blood of my sister.
It must be destroyed.
I agree, Henry. I agree, and I curse the day I created him.
Victor, do you remember that position I spoke of?
The hospital in Scotland. I remember.
I've heard from them. The position is mine.
Excellent, Henry.
I must leave at the end of the week, but I will be back for your wedding. I have weapons, Victor. We could scour the mountains for him. We tell Elizabeth and the Baroness that we were hunting. It would, in its own way, be true.
They'd be busy preparing for the wedding and happy, no doubt, to get us out of the house.
Precisely.
It's a good plan, Henry. Let's do it.
Good. Sun's preparing to set. Nearly time for dinner.
You go on ahead. I'll sit here for a bit.
Very well. Don't be too long.
Frankenstein.
Murderer! How dare you approach me, killer of children!
I was trying to silence her, and she might have survived our meeting, but when she said her name, Frankenstein, I suddenly felt a rage I could not master. It was the rage killed her.
How do you know of me?
The diary in your coat pocket.
I thought the coat had burned.
You thought I had burned as well. You thought me dead.
I prayed it.
As have I, so many times since.
Give me the chance then, and I will do you that favor.
I will not have you kill me, Victor Frankenstein, but I will bargain with you. Fulfill the bargain, and I will leave you and yours in peace. Refuse, and I will let you live, but I will glut the maw of death until it overflows with the blood of your family and friends, until you are wretched and alone, as I am.
Fiend!
You never care, my father.
Father?
I am superior to you in every way, but, beauty, I am stronger, for you have made me so. I could kill you with a single blow.
Then do it!
No, I am your creature. I would have served you and bowed to you if only you had loved me. If only you had been fair to me.
Fair?
Oh, Father, be not equitable to all others and tremble upon me alone. Everywhere I see happiness from which I alone am excluded. When I first came to myself in a cottage in the forest, I was benevolent and good. It was misery made me a fiend. Give me what you owe me, and I will be benevolent and good again.
I'll give you nothing but death.
That would not be so easy as it may seem, for I have tried to make myself a present of death, and it will not come. If you had loved me, Father, if any being had loved me, I would have returned that love 100 and 100-fold. For that one creature's sake, I would have made peace with the whole of mankind.
I do not owe you love.
No, Father, I would welcome it, but I do not expect it.
What then?
I want a mate.
What?
Yes, and you must build her, the creature, as hideous as myself.
You have caused a world of pain by yourself. I should make another.
Oh, is this not owed to me? Did I request thee, maker, from my clay to mold me man? Did I solicit thee from darkness to promote me?
You quote Milton to me.
It was one of the texts by which I learned of language and life.
Paradise Lost.
It is appropriate.
And now you want a mate.
She shall be my Eve, and I her Adam. Consent, and the world will never see us again. We shall dwell in the most savage of places, and when we die, we will not curse our Maker's name.
You would go, never to be seen or heard of again. You promise this?
I do.
Then I will do it.
When?
After the wedding, I must...
Before!
No, I must...
Before! How long were you engaged in my own creation, Father?
2 years.
Oh!
But I learned much. This I could do within 6 months.
Waste no time. Begin now.
That would put completion within days of my wedding.
And you would begin your marriage clean and new again.
Very well. I'll do it.
I will watch from the shadows. And when she is ready, I shall claim her. And Frankenstein, have a care. If you do not do this thing, I will be with you on your wedding night.
Victor? Victor?
Ah, Elizabeth.
May I come in?
I was just finishing up. I'll join you.
What have you been doing in there, Victor?
Oh, you know, research, my work.
Barely seen you these last few months. Do you think you could find the time to be married tomorrow evening?
I think so, yes.
Henry's just arrived from Scotland.
Good.
I thought perhaps we could all have dinner together. I'm sure Henry has stories to tell us about his new position, and the Baroness has already.
Was that thunder?
Are you paying any attention to me at all, Victor?
What? Oh, yes. Of course I am, darling. I have work to do. Excuse me, won't you?
But Victor, I thought we could...
There you are, Elizabeth. Yeah, I was just telling the Baroness that tomorrow, before the wedding, we should all...
Oh, Henry, I don't know that there will even be a wedding.
What? Elizabeth,
Please excuse me, Henry,
Storm's early. I'm not ready. Too many things yet to do. Too many preparations to make. Damn! Too early. Have to hurry or I won't...
So this is what you've been up to all these months.
Henry, how did you...
You neglected to lock the door.
Well, how good to see you again.
And what is this shrouded form on the table, Victor? Another one? Another one?
No, a bride. A bride for him. Have a look. See? A woman.
Hideous!
Well, a parent is often oblivious to his child's shortcomings.
Victor, how could you?
You don't understand, Henry. He's promised me he will take his new bride and leave forever, never to be seen again.
And what makes you think he will keep his word? Did you stitch honor into that collection of corpses, Victor?
He's promised to take her away, to live out their lives in the jungles or the Arctic Circle, or...
And has she made the same promise?
I beg your pardon.
What if she refuses to comply with the contract, Victor?
Well,
What if she turns away from him? How angry might he be then, Victor?
I didn't...
And then there would be two of them.
No, she will be his mate. She will.
Children, then, a race of devils. And will they honor your pact as well?
I never thought...
And therein lies the problem. You never thought. For Elizabeth's sake, Victor, I will remain here, and I will attend your wedding on the morrow. But then I do not want you troubling me ever again. Do you understand?
Yes, Henry. I understand.
Good evening, Victor.
So, you're living in Scotland now, Henry?
I have a position at a teaching hospital. There's a doctor there who has developed...
Professor Waldman, this is a surprise.
I wouldn't miss your wedding, Victor.
Henry?
Victor?
Well, I see by this exchange of significant looks you have issues to address.
Another of our ongoing philosophical debates, Professor. Sharpens the mind.
To quote the poet, the mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven. Stormy times ahead. Let us thank our Creator, gentlemen, that we have a roof over our heads. Well, I shall see you at the dinner table.
Victor, I thought you...
Shh. Wait till he's turned the corner. There.
I thought you were going to...
That quote. What is it from?
Which? Oh, what Waldman said. Milton, Paradise Lost.
Odd. That evening when I encountered the creature, after you'd gone down the mountain.
Yes?
He, too, quoted from Paradise Lost.
Well, Waldman knows more than he says, Victor. He's no fool.
Of course not. But he's no mind reader either. Coincidence. That's all it is. Coincidence.
The storm is rising. Shouldn't you be getting back to your work?
No.
I beg your pardon?
You were right, Henry. There was no assurance the creature would keep his word. I came very close to loosing another great monster on the world. It shan't happen now.
I'm proud of you, Victor. You're starting a new life. Now's the time to break with the sins of the past.
The creature threatened my life. Promised to be with me on my wedding night. I have a pistol.
Yes, I remember that pistol.
I'll carry it with me. We'll leave for Marseille directly after the ceremony.
Stay there for a few weeks. I'll come back to Geneva upon your return, and we'll go on that hunting expedition we've talked about.
Thank you, Henry. You've been a faithful friend. I owe you much.
What about your project upstairs in your laboratory? What are you going to...
I took an axe to it. I trust that doesn't offend your moral sensibilities. It was, after all, not yet alive.
No, of course not.
Later tonight, while the household sleeps, I'll row out to the middle of the lake and...
Victor, Henry, Elizabeth has sent me to inform you that dinner is served.
The creature?
He has been watching my progress from the shadows. When he discovers...
What in the world is that?
Doubtless some animal.
Or doomed soul.
I beg your pardon?
The Baroness awaits us at the dinner table. Elizabeth, my arm. Come, gentlemen, an excellent meal this evening, and tomorrow, a wedding.
Now just stop that, Victor Frankenstein. I told you I wouldn't be long. You can't expect me to travel dressed like this.
And why not?
Victor, this is my wedding dress. The cinders from the smokestack would ruin it.
Oh, it's a very modern railway, Elizabeth.
Yes, and the last time I travelled on that very modern railway, I counted 16 little holes burned in my dress. I have travelling clothes, thank you very much. It won't take me but a moment.
It had better not. I don't think the train will wait for us.
Unfasten me in the back?
Very well. Oh, so many buttons. That's something I've always wanted to know.
What's that, dear?
Why do women put the buttons in the back where they can't be reached? It makes no sense to me. Why not put them in the front like a man's shirt?
Stop for a moment.
What?
Stop for a moment. I want to turn around.
Very well.
Now, you see this effect in the front?
Oh, yes. It was the first thing I noticed about that dress. I'm in favor of it.
Well, my darling, in order to make the front look the way you men seem to like it, we must put the buttons in the back. You see?
Well, if that's what does it.
That's what does it.
Then I vote we keep the buttons in the back.
You vote in the majority, darling. Now, finish the buttons.
131, 132, 133.
No such thing.
Seems like it. There.
Finished?
Finished. Turn around now and throw your arms out the way you did before.
Not until we reach Marseille.
Oh, can I wait that long, do you think?
You shall have to. Stay here. I shan't be long.
You might want to pack that dress, you know, so we can study the effect in Marseille.
Victor, what are you doing here? Your train leaves in 20 minutes.
She needed to change her clothes for the trip. Henry, do you know why the buttons are at the back of a woman's dress?
No?
Well, when I turn round and hold my arms out like this, the effect isn't the same.
You're going to miss the train.
Where's the luggage?
Outside in the cabriolet.
Good man. We'll be off in no time.
I take it you still have the pistol.
Yes, but I didn't need it, you see. The creature dared not come near me with so many people in the house all day and the church this evening. And in less than 20 minutes we'll be...
What?
Elizabeth? My God! Elizabeth!
Open the door!
Elizabeth!
Elizabeth,
can you hear me? Where?
On the floor. There.
Oh, Elizabeth! Oh, my God, Elizabeth!
Victor.
Wake up, darling. Wake up.
Victor, it's no use.
Elizabeth.
She's gone, Victor.
Elizabeth, please, please, wake up. Oh, my God, Elizabeth. No. Oh, my darling Elizabeth.
Victor,
I have been such a fool, Henry.
so sorry.
Such a self-centered fool. I thought it was my life he threatened, but that was never his intent. It was her life. Oh, my dear, sweet, innocent Elizabeth, please forgive me.
We heard a scream.
Victor! What? Oh!
Baroness! She's fainted. Henry, help me get her into the other bedroom. Carefully now. Carefully.
How can you be gone, Elizabeth? How can I live without you, my love?
Now we both grieve lost love, Frankenstein.
You monster! I curse the day I made you.
As do I, Frankenstein, for I am the most wretched creature on earth. Shall each beast have his mate, each man his wife, and I be alone? Shall you be allowed the joy of love and companionship, while I grovel in my wretchedness, alone and unloved?
Why did you not kill me half a year ago when you had the chance?
Because then I had hope, Frankenstein. Hope, with you at the center of it. Now I have only revenge. And again, you at the center. I abandon hope and replace it with revenge. I abandon love and seek revenge. You may blast all other passions, but revenge remains. I may die, but I promise that you will pray for death. You shall curse the God who gave you life, just as I curse mine. And finally, this shall be my revenge.
Monster! I will destroy you!
If you would destroy me, you must pursue me and bring me to ground. I head north to the Baltic Sea, and ever northward to the frozen wastelands of the pole. Ah! Oh!
Victor! What?
Through the window!
Look out!
He's getting away!
He's gone, Victor! You'll never hit him from here.
Victor!
Professor, how is my mother?
The Baroness suffered a heart attack, Victor. The shock was too much.
We must get her to the hospital, where we can...
It is too late, Victor. I'm sorry.
Revenge. He promised revenge.
Victor!
Professor, that creature is...
I know who he is, Victor. And I know what relationship you bear to him.
You know?
Yes, Henry, I know. Your ambitions were always transparent, Victor, and always greater than your discretion. I am an old man and have had time to make many alliances. I know the people at the charnel houses, the living who haunt the churchyards and bear witness, the professional mourners who will weep for a fee and deliver a corpse for a few pennies more. Yes, I know. I have known for a very long time.
You said nothing.
Would it have made a difference, Victor? For those who would play God, there is always a reckoning.
I will find him. I will find him and destroy him. This shall be my life's work.
And I am with you, Victor, to the ends of the earth.
Good. For that is where we must go, Henry. To the pole, to the ends of the earth. Henry! Up here!
Snow's coming down harder, Victor.
We can see for miles from up here, Henry. I thought, with luck, we might see him.
I can see nothing but snow and ice. That's all we've seen for the last 3 weeks.
And his tracks.
He knows we're after him, Victor. He's leading us on. He doesn't want to lose us.
I know.
Have you any idea where we are?
Very near the pole itself.
I've just had 2 more dogs die.
We'll combine both teams on one sledge.
Have you made plans about getting back?
No. No, I haven't.
Well, there it is again.
It's the ground sea, under the ice, causing it to shift.
Yes, but the snow is on top of the ice and we are on top of the snow. What happens if the ice breaks?
We must catch up to him. He can't be more than a mile or 2 ahead of us now.
The wind's coming up.
Look! Look there!
Looks like there's some kind of white curtain being drawn across.
Snowstorm! It's a snowstorm coming straight for us. Quickly, Henry! Down the hill to the dogs before it hits. Stay close. If we lose sight of each other now, we may never... Look out! Henry! Where are you, Henry?
Victor! Victor, can you hear me? Victor! The ice is cracking! Where are you? Victor! Victor, is that you? I can't see through them! Oh, yes, yes! Give me your hand, Victor! Here, give me your hand! Wait! Don't... Let go! You!
Henry? Henry, where are you? Henry! Henry! The ice broke, and I found myself drifting on a diminishing raft of ice for I cannot say how long, watching the dogs die one by one. I have seen so much death. Nor can I say what happened to my faithful friend Henry Clerval. I pray the cold took him. I fear my creation may have found him. I haven't much time left.
Nonsense. The ship's surgeon says...
Do not try to deceive me. You forget I too am a physician and know, more intimately than most, of the workings of the human body. Mine is winding down. But my task is unfulfilled. Must I die while he lives? No, I must...
Don't try to rise, my friend.
Look who has joined us. Captain, this is my dear friend, Henry Clerval. And there is my mother, and Justine, and, Catherine. It is so good to... Elizabeth. Oh, Elizabeth. I thought I had lost you. My hand? Of course, my darling. Here is my...
At last, my friend, you have found peace.
How is he, Captain?
Prepare for a burial at sea on the morrow.
Aye, sir.
We're making some progress here.
Aye, sir. Got sea room now.
I see the ice floes have thinned out.
Yes, sir. Clear water ahead.
Good. I'll go back below deck. I'll wrap the body and perhaps catch some sleep in a spare bunk.
Aye, Captain.
What? Who? Oh, my God! Please, do not fear me. I am ugly, but I mean no harm.
Strange words from a murderer.
He has told you, then?
He's told me everything.
He is my victim, too. I have murdered him, as I have murdered everyone he loved. If only he had loved me as well.
Loved you?
Oh, Frankenstein, forgive me for my trespasses.
You feel remorse?
I do.
Would that you had felt it sooner.
Do you believe that I did not? My heart was fashioned for love and sympathy. And when it was denied these, I could not endure and turned to hatred.
And murder.
Murder was the only instrument I had to engage my creator, my God, my parent. But with each death, I loathed myself more.
And yet you did not stop.
I could not. Do you think their screams were music to my ears? They were prayers to my God who had rejected me. If I could not have his love, I would settle for his hatred. And yet each death made me more miserable. And now it is ended. And here lies my last victim.
You are a devil.
Yes, I am. Still, I am the same creature whose heart was once filled with beauty and goodness. The fallen angel turned malignant devil. But even Satan had company in his desolation. I am alone.
Don't look for sympathy from me, monster.
I long ago gave up hope for sympathy, just as I have abandoned hope for love. But if he had loved me, if there had been a single being who loved me, what might I have been? What might I have done? I shall leave your ship now, on the ice raft that brought me here.
And then?
I shall seek land, and build a raging funeral pyre. And when the flames have reached the heavens, I shall step within, exult in the agony of the torturing flames, and be consumed. All my evil deeds and memories will die with me. But so will the glorious ones. I will no longer see the sun or feel the cheering warmth of summer. I will never again hear the birds sing, or see the glittering stars, or feel the breeze play on my cheeks. All the images I hold within my heart will die with me. All those moments will be lost like tears in rain. Time to die.
In one leap he reached the steps. In another he was on the deck. Then he vaulted overboard to the ice raft, which lay close beside my vessel. We gathered at the rail and watched as he was borne away by the waves and lost forever in the darkness and the distance. Signed, Robert Walton, Captain's Log. November 5th, 1818. You have been listening to the Anchorage Community Theatre players, along with members of the cast of Agatha Christie's The Hollows, dramatization of Frankenstein by Philip Grecian, based on the novel by Mary Shelley. Tonight's talented players included Ethan Giles as Captain Robert Walton, Stephen Morin as Victor Frankenstein, David Souza as Henry Clerval and crewman 2, Zoe Zawodny as Catherine Frankenstein, Shera Boom as Baroness Frankenstein, Maddie Cleaver as Justine Moritz, Becky Sheridan as Elizabeth, Matt Fernandez as crewman 1 and DeLacy, Mary Giles as Birgitta, Scott Rhodey as Professor Waldman and the Creature. Sound effects by J. Armentrout, Jonna Lahe, and Shanice Lawton. Audio assistance by Shanice Lawton. Audio editing by J. Armentrout. This was an ACT production under the direction of Matt Fernandez. Anchorage, Alaska, 2021. Good night and pleasant dreams.